Hey folks, it's time for a chat. Got a lot to catch up on. Got a lot going on. I have some well, kind of announcements to make and some things to let you guys know. And get ready. I'm going to be transparent. Yeah, time to be transparent. Again, stay tuned. Welcome back to Pine Meadows Hobby Farm. I'm your host, Jerry Hansen. I am in the RV. I am repairing, doing some repairs on. There's a couple more repairs to do on this RV. This was gifted to me free. And so I've been upgrading it and putting a little bit of money, not a whole lot, but a little bit of repairs. The parts I'm finding that I need are relatively inexpensive, so it's going to make it happen. Under my butt here, it's the couch, but located under here is the holding tank. That's the next project. I noticed that when I filled the holding tank, there's some leaking going on. I don't know what that's about. So we're going to take this couch off in another video on the RV upgrade and repair series. And I'm going to find out what's going on and where that leakage is coming from. Now, I had planned to do some renovation on an old vintage RV. It's a double axle, what is it? It is a Nomad. It's a Nomad travel trailer. I got that for free. But you know what? I have so many projects going on here on the homestead, especially since the car engine blew and I have to transfer engines. That's going to be a big chore and a huge challenge. So therefore, I've decided to give it away as a gift. I did a thorough video on everything I wanted to do for this RV. And, you know, up on the top, on the bottom, underneath, outside, inside, all of it. And I told this young man, he's a young family man, and asked him if he wouldn't mind receiving this RV and doing the repairs himself, and I will gift it to him. Clear title, keys, everything. So I will even put tires on it to get it to his house. And he and his wife just purchased a new home. And I know how it is. I remember how it was when I and my wife were young. We could barely find 2 nickels to rub together, and it was really hard and stressful to meet the needs of the family, let alone buy a home. So we had to forego buying a home until later. After I finished college, well, actually I bought Pine Meadows Hobby Farm while I was in college because I came across a deal I could not turn down. But anyway, this young man and his lovely wife, they purchased a home, and they've got some young children, and I'm going to pay it forward, and that is because I have been so incredibly blessed over these past couple of years. This young man, after he showed me pictures of his house, wow. Big yard. I have a push lawnmower I was going to gift him, and I decided no, I'm not going to gift him that push lawnmower. Maybe I'll go ahead and give it to him, but I'm going to go ahead and give him one of these riding lawnmowers because it's a big front yard and a big backyard. So I've got 2 riding lawnmowers, and the one I put some money into and upgraded to get it operational, I'm going to go ahead and gift him that. As well as, if you guys seen my treasure hunting series, yeah, if you haven't seen it, check it out. And look at the blessings, the abundance of blessings I have been blessed with. So now I've got so much, I'm going to be paying it forward. I already paid forward a extra tractor and some farm implements. And now for this young man, I'm giving him a RV, a riding lawnmower, push mower, and I'm going to let him use my rototiller, my rear-tine tiller, to do some rototilling, and my seed spreader. But I'm also gifting him all the yard tools he needs as a homeowner to be able to do the maintenance on his home, or at least on his yard. I do have an abundance of extra power tools I've accumulated, so I'm going to go ahead and go through my inventory and see also what else I can gift them with. And this is my heart's desire, is just to pay it forward. There's some things I will be selling at the instructions of the owner of the estate, the one estate, which I accumulated some of the stuff from. I will be selling that and then making sure she gets some money out of it. But I have no desire really to receive anything. This is just out of my heart. That's just the person I am. I've always been that way. Now, when it comes to my own house, this is where I have to be really transparent with you guys. And this is hard. This is really, really hard. I mean, you guys may not think, what's the big deal? Well, in your world, it may not be a big deal, but to me, it is a huge deal. And once I explain on where I am, you'll understand. I purchased the shower kit. I need to retrofit my bathroom with a walk-in shower. Currently, I have a tub and shower kit. I need to get that removed and have the new one installed. I have been trying and trying and trying to find a contractor or somebody who's bonded and skilled to be able to do the job for me. I lack the skills, okay? I suppose I could probably learn them, but I lack the skills. Unfortunately, I hit a major roadblock. As you know, last summer we had some devastating wildfires sweep through our region and destroy two towns. I mean, the towns, businesses, over, was it 2,000 to 4,000 homes all over the just in our county alone. So all the contractors are busy, rebuilding those, and they have no time to come and do the job here on the homestead. We've got two problems that is factoring into the equation. Number one is they're already backlogged and rebuilding the community, and number two is I live so far out, and I heard through the grapevine, because I have a coworker whose husband is a contractor, they typically will not go that distance to do a small job because it doesn't pan out for them monetarily. I have a lot of money saved up to be able to pay a contractor, but I just can't get one. I thought I had one, but there's been like crickets. Nothing but the sound of crickets. So I've got to get the shower done. Here's where the transparency and the modesty and the humility comes in. I'm scared to death of doing it myself. And I had to do some soul searching and find out, Jerry, you can splice genes and DNA. You can figure out a problem with electronic components, computers, and you can repair those. Jerry, you can do a lot of things. Why are you having so much anxiety with ripping out a tub and shower kit and installing a new walk-in shower? Why? For a long time, I didn't know why. I mean, anxiety, huge anxiety, to the point where sweating, heart beating, and physical sickness. So, folks, that's what's keeping me from doing it. But I had to really do some soul searching. I have a degree in counseling, so psychology, and I had to really stop and start analyzing myself. What did Hippocrates say? Physician, heal thyself. Yeah, I really had to take a good look at myself and find out, why are you feeling this way? It seems such a task that almost anybody could do, but why? I came up with a solution, or the conclusion of why I'm feeling that way. We were, well, we rented for many years, and we were homeless for some years. And then things started turning around, and I was able to climb out of the conditions and realizing within myself to start focusing on my abilities and not my disabilities. So I managed to go back to college. I got another degree. I pursued another life's passion. I succeeded. And then I found this place in an unconventional way, and I was able to purchase it. Put a lot of work into it and a lot of thought. So with that said, this is our first home. And I treasure our first home, so much so that that's where the anxiety is laying, is putting a house together and spending so much time and effort on what little we have, what little resources we had to begin with, and coming to a point in victory over the challenges of being homeless and helpless and with a disability, and then finally becoming a homeowner. The idea, and here it is, of tearing my home apart. Even right now, it's like, it's hard. It's really hard to fathom. So I'm not getting any help. I can't rely on anybody to do it. I have to do this. I have to renovate my bathroom. Folks, I even went so far as applying to reality TV shows to have them come in and do it for me. Crickets. Nothing but crickets. So, I'm being honest with you guys. I'm not only upset about the whole thing, about not finding somebody willing to do it for me, because I have more than enough money to be able to pay them to do this, but the anxiety also that I have to endure to try to do it myself. So, here's the deal. I just gotta clench my teeth and buckle up and close my eyes and do it. I just gotta do it. So, I got into the process and I assembled the kit that we purchased in the middle of the kitchen, and lo and behold, when I purchased the kit from Lowe's, the people who helped me pull it from the shelves and pack it into my truck unfortunately packed in the wrong shower pan. I am so glad I pre-assembled it in the middle of the kitchen floor before I went in and started tearing things out, because the pan was the wrong size. Okay, that's a huge problem, because the pan was smaller than the kit, the shower walls. Not going to work, not going to work. Took the pan back down to Lowe's, and they gave me my money back on it. And unfortunately, I don't think you guys realize, your shelves are getting emptier and emptier. There's a problem with auto parts, some food items, and other products. One of the reasons is partly because people are so resolved to sit at home and collect unemployment that the government is offering them rather than working. That's a problem. I have a personal problem with that. And with the lack of labor force, there are ships, and this is what I was told, floating off the shores of Long Beach, California, for instance, to offload their products. But they can't offload their products because they don't have enough shore workers to be able to offload the products. So they're doing a few ships at a time. So the process is really slow, really slow. And that to me is frustrating to me also. I just don't get it. I do not get it. But it is what it is. We're going to deal with it. So I took the shower kit back down, or the pan, and tried to acquire the correct size. They didn't have it in stock. Sold out of it. Done. And it's just like, now what am I going to do? I cannot do this shower. So the kind people at Lowe's, there was 2 employees at Lowe's, very kind gentlemen who took their time to help me. They found an alternative pan that is of a different model and style number, but fit the shower wall doors, and they were able to order that for me. So that set me back from doing the renovation. So now we're going to get that pan in, and then once that comes in, I'll be able to go ahead and, yeah, do the renovation. So we got to deal with that. Excuse me, I am canning dill pickles. I've got to go get them off the burner and get them set and start cooling. Let's go in and do that, and we'll come back and finish this conversation. Okay, we're back. We're done. They're sitting on the cooling rack, and they're going to cool, and then we'll go ahead and put them in the pantry after they're done. With the amount of cucumber plants that I grew, by the way, these are Dollar Tree cucumber seeds, 25 cents a pack, and I'm impressed. Just calculating how many cucumbers plants I need for a year's supply of pickles, because mainly I just pickle them. I would say probably about 12 plants, period, and that's enough for our small family for the year. Because it's like a treat to get those pickles. It's really nice, especially my recipe. Yeah, I'm going to leave a link to that recipe of my zesty dill pickles. Check those out. You notice the video quality is a little bit different? Well, my Canon XF100, my professional video camera, broke yesterday. Yep, broke. Easy fix. I'm sending it down to the company. They have a part for it, and what it is the toggle switch that operates the zoom for the camera. That malfunction, the actual internal parts broke, so I'm sending it down, and they've got another part in inventory, so they're going to repair it for me and send it back. So I tried working my Canon Rebel T7 this morning, tried to get that up and going. Could not get that sucker to focus on video. It will not focus on video, so I'm going to have to dig in more on that and find out what the heck is going on. I paid some good money for that camera kit, really good money. And right now, frustration, not happy, not happy. I thought Canon was a pretty good quality product, but for the, and I primarily bought this camera for photography, but it has a videography feature on it. But the video part of it will not focus. And that is hugely frustrating as a backup camera. So what I'm filming with is an Android cell phone. No, we do not have self-service, but this has a camera on it and it has video features on it. So that's why I'm using it, and that's what I'm using to videograph this particular episode. My apologies. The audio quality is coming through the phone and also the video quality. Now, I understand a lot of YouTubers do use cell phones and they do put out really good quality videography. I'm learning. But this year I did resolve myself to buy a new camera from the revenue from the show. And if I do get enough, I'm going to go ahead and just not break the bank, but I'm going to go shop for a new camera. Not sure if it's going to be Canon or Sony or what. I just want a good quality video camera that has that screen that you can flip back, and you can, while the camera lens is pointing at you, you can see yourself in the screen, so you make sure you stay within shot or in frame. The Canon photography camera I got, the Rebel T7, it does not have that. I have to have a field monitor attached to be able to keep me in frame and see what I'm doing. But the focus doesn't work. I'm frustrated. So I did get a bunch of lenses with it, so I'm going to have to work out the details with the lenses and see if I can get it to focus with one of the lenses. Yeah, not happy. Yeah, my camera broke yesterday when my son and I spent some quality father-son time together. We took our metal detectors out on a wildlife trail, and we went on a hike. We hiked about 5 or 6 miles and had a good time. We just, we didn't really do a whole lot of metal detecting because the battery died on mine. I have a cheap one, and he did find something, but we went on a nice hike. We got out, we got some exercise, and I really enjoy the exercise. And also the adventure, just getting out and exploring. Now, I've always wanted to look at this area and explore these trails, and unbeknownst to me, he also wanted to get out and explore that trail. He'd had his eye on that area for a long time, and it wasn't known to him that I had the same desire, so it just so happened. Coincidentally, I asked him, hey, you want to go do something tomorrow? I won't tell you what it is, but let's go do it. And he goes, oh, okay. So we went ahead and we went down there, and oh wow, we both thoroughly enjoyed each other's company and just hung out and just enjoyed nature. And my camera toggle switch broke. It's the zoom part of the camera. So I managed to finish filming the episode. That will be coming up soon. So look at the Off the Beaten Path series episode, so you'll be able to see that. Gardening, I am harvesting. I got this cabbage head that's absolutely huge. Never successfully grew a big cabbage head before. This is my first. I am a cabbage virgin. No more. But now I got to go and figure out what to do with a cabbage, but I want to do it right. I want to be able to preserve it, and I think I'll just pickle it. I think that's what I'll do. I love cabbage, and even the cabbage leaves, I think I'll just cook up and we can serve with some dishes and enjoy the flavor of some cabbage. Turnips. Yeah. We got some more turnips ready to harvest and pack in buckets of sand. That I did a video on that. I gleaned that information from my grandfather's memoirs on how the pioneers preserved some of their root crops. So I'm going to go ahead and do some more of that. You can also do it with carrots. I don't have carrots ready though. Tomatoes are still green. They haven't turned red yet, but understand we live in a high altitude up here in the mountains, And our growing season comes in a lot later than the rest of the region. For instance, people who are down in the valley, they get the acorns on their trees, or their oak trees bloom out with leaves a whole month and a half to 2 months before we even get our first a leaf appearing. So we're that far behind. So I expect we have a short growing season, but we do get tomatoes, and we do get a lot of them, and I'm looking forward to that. I do have a lot of volunteer tomatoes that came in from last year. They're a different variety. The tomatoes I'm growing this year are all from, those 25-cent seed packets from Dollar Tree. Yeah. And I also have some seed in the garden that I purchased through seed banks that I purchased online. I have a video link or a link down below to be able to purchase those garden seeds. I cannot emphasize enough to my viewers here, please get ready. I encourage you to order a seed bank, if you will. Order it now while there's still supplies. There is hints of a great dirge coming. And the reason why I say that is because there's two factors playing in the world right now. Number one is, we're going through a drought. The drought, lack of water, lack of crops. So there's a lot of crops being destroyed and turned under because there's simply no water to provide for those crops to grow. So that market is completely dead and gone and dried up. There ain't going to be food from the West. They're dried up. There's just nothing. Another factor is other regions of the earth are getting too much water, and the too much water is flooding out crops, destroying crops. And so as far as vegetable crops, good luck. Good luck. All I can say is learn from your grandparents and your great-grandparents. During World War II, everybody started what they called Liberty Gardens, and I really want to encourage you guys to look into that. A Liberty Garden is a small garden in wherever you live. If you live in the urban areas, just plant what you can, grow what you can to feed yourself. There's fruit trees abundant throughout residential areas. People just don't realize, they don't pay attention. There's all kind of fruit down there that they can glean. So the vegetables you can grow in your own backyard in abundance in a small space is incredible. You can also provide your own protein just by getting a couple of rabbits and just being small. You can also use the rabbit turds to be able to fertilize those vegetable crops that you have, so you're reducing the amount of money you're spending on growing those vegetable crops. Another thing is the rabbits provide protein, and you can feed the rabbits from vegetation that you can glean from a nearby vacant field. That's what they did, in the during the war era and post-war era. My aunts and uncles and my grandparents did exactly that. They also raised chickens, but back then the ordinance permitted them to have roosters. My aunt had a pet rooster that would roost on top of her water heater because it was a nice warm place to roost. And she had him trained to go poop in the utility sink, so you can just turn the water on and flush it down the sink. Nicely trained rooster. I do have some beets in the garden that are mature. I need to get those plucked up and get them canned. Beets are excellent for cardiovascular health, and especially my needs because I have a disability. I have to take care of my heart and my cardiovascular system, so I planted beets specifically for those purposes. If you're planting a garden, by the way, plant only what you know you and your family are going to eat. If it's like eggplant, you've never had eggplant, you just don't eat eggplant, don't plant eggplant. Just plant the stuff that you know you're going to eat, because it saves space. It really does. I do have some green beans that are ready to harvest and can. I love canned green beans. I've done my canned green beans first time ever last year, and we ate them. We're still eating on them. They are wonderful. They're just like the store-bought ones, but it's kind of neat because I planted them, I grew them, I canned them and preserved them, and then I'm consuming them, and my family is consuming them. And you cannot beat that feeling. No, you cannot. Nothing matches it. Store-bought just does not match it. I did discover that I raised 3 tom turkeys from eggs that I hatched and 1 little Jenny. So we're going to harvest and process those. We'll have plenty of protein this year. Let's see, Thanksgiving dinner, Christmas dinner, and 1 as a gift to give away. Yeah, and we have a breeding stock or flock to be able to continue the process. These are Naragansette turkeys, also my buff Orpington chickens. I've got a rooster. I have 4 chicks now. 2 are half grown and 2 are new. It's exciting to see how if I just stand back and let the farm livestock do what they do best, they do what they can. I didn't get as many chicks as I wanted this year, so I guess chicken dinner will be very rare occasions this year, because we will process some chicken. We'll reduce the flock into the winter and put them in the freezer camp, because going into winter I really want to reduce my feed bill. I'm also this close, people, at considering retiring. Finally, this close. I haven't made a conclusive decision yet, but this close. Yeah, I've been talking to some people, experts, professionals in the field, to find out when's a good time for me, that I can continue to live a relatively okay lifestyle that I'm living, which is a lot cheaper than most people, because I live on a frugal homestead on a frugal budget, and I keep it frugal, and with the exception of if I get extra income, well, we're trying to pay the land off, because that's all I owe on right now is just the land. Sell off all the other assets and reduce them down to just, well, let me put it this way. I had two or 3 years ago, I established for myself a life goal, a plan for retirement. And that goal was to get 1 decent usable vehicle in the carport, 1 decent pickup, and 1 decent RV. Well, I have achieved all 3. Cool. Yeah, I got a decent car. More on that later. I got a decent pickup that was gifted to me. I got a decent RV, which I'm upgrading and getting it perfect before, well, not perfect, but as readily available for camping as possible. And that's this RV right here. Yeah, this fits the bill. We're downgrading, downsizing, getting rid of all the extra, and I will be having some Craigslist and Facebook Marketplace advertisements I'll be putting out there to try to sell off a lot of things. That Ford Thunderbird, once I get the engine traded out and get it running, we're selling that. Getting rid of that 1 RV. The other 2 RVs we have available. Well, 1 I gifted to my son, and then that's his residence. He can stay in that. I also got him a washer and dryer that he can do his own laundry with if he wants. The other one was the one we lived in for quite some time. While before we bought the homestead, and then after we bought the homestead, we lived in that while we were putting it together. It has a washer and dryer in it. Uh, right now, my daughter is using it. I can't tell you guys how content I am as a dad to be able to provide for my kids, even though they're adults, that I call it a safe harbor to anchor in during times of stormy weather in their lives. Because when the kids were little, we went through a homeless period, and I never wanted that for my kids, and I never want my kids to have to face that again. And that's why it's a father's heart to be able to, even though my kids are adults and they're making their own way, and let me tell you, they are hustlers. They hustle for work. They're never without money. They're never without. But the bottom line is, I just want to make sure they have a roof over their head, and I have no problem with providing that. It's okay. People, it's okay. Looking at history past, there is families that really stuck together and were tight-knit, and they helped one another. And eventually, I'm going to need help. My kids are free to go, come and go, be adults, whatever they want to do. But as long as I'm alive, I'm going to be a dad. Hands down. Gonna be a dad. I'm not giving that up for anybody, for any reason. Well, that's all I have to say on this subject. I'm your host, Jerry Hansen. This is Pine Meadows Hobby Farm. We're a frugal homestead tucked high in the Cascade Ranges of the Pacific Northwest. I should add a very blessed homestead. I have wonderful, wonderful viewers and people who keep coming back to my channel and viewing my episodes. Thank you guys. I'm just so humbly grateful that you guys are interested in our adventures and feel uplifted and encouraged through what we're going through. And that's what I live to do, is encourage and uplift people, not tear them down or break them down. Yeah, it's just my nature to, what do they call it? Influence. I want to influence people to a more positive outcome in their lives. And this is a really good venue to be able to do this. Please subscribe, give us a thumbs up, leave a comment. Also click that share button. Sharing our videos on your social media platforms helps us out. Stay tuned to more videos. Be safe. And always be kind. We'll see you guys in the next adventure. Bye-bye now.